Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk about Array.from. Array.from takes a second argument. This blew my mind. Came up in this week in some code. I saw somebody was using Array.from to in a way to make a range so that they could map over a certain number of things in React. Crazy stuff. But let's talk about Array.from the beginning. Why does Array.from exist? How is it interesting? Well, in JavaScript, there are array-like things. One of the most commonly used ones back in the day, if you had a function, say sum, like right here, you get arguments. And a lot of things that would trip up anybody learning JavaScript is that arguments is not an array. It's an array-like objects. You can't call map, reduce, filter. You can't call any array functions on these arguments. So what you had to do was this thing that was like var args equals array.prototype.slice.call arguments, which is weird. Why is this weird? Because we're using call, and the first parameter of call is the context. So we're calling the slice function without any parameters here, but as arguments as the context, and it's weird and hard to wrap your head around. But this works, and you can return, if we're doing sum here, let's just write sum, reduce, what's called accumulator, and item. I never good at naming things. I think that should reduce. I'm using Quokka here. Quokka. It's a cool little utility. Lets me see things. So if I say console equals sum, 1, 2, 4. Huh? Come on, Quokka. Oh, it doesn't like that I am bad at writing code. All right, so that works. But this is weird. So what we could do is we can just replace this with Array.from. Because what Array.from does is it takes anything that's array-like and turns it into a real array. So like if we ever did arguments here, it's like arguments.reduce is not a function. So that's cool. What else can we use it for? Well, we can use it on anything. If we go to, hold up, let's go to the MDN. We can use it on anything that is array-like in JavaScript, which is a surprising number of things. We can use it on a string. That's pretty cool. We can use it on a set, map, arguments. That's the example that I just did. And there's this other thing down here, which is crazy. So the second parameter of array.from, let me just do a contract example. If I have I started typing some array, it's like 1, 2, 3, and then, or yeah, that's fine. And then I want okay, this would be a bad example because I would just use map, but I could say I want another array times 2. So I want each value in this array to be the original array times 2. I could have used array.from for that. I wouldn't because that's crazy, but this is just to show what the second function is. So value and index, and what I can return here is value times 2, and that works. Cool. What if I do times index? Ooh, so cool. So yeah, that's how the second parameter works. And this crazy range thing, so if I const range equals, you give it, if you don't know underscore range, it's, if you call it like this, you get a new array of that size where each value is in the array is equivalent to its index. So in this case, it would give me like 0, 1, 2, 3, 3. Why did I put 15? Let's say 5. There. So if we wanted to write our own function, we'd take a size and we'd return array.from. Now this is where it gets tricky, because really what is an array in JavaScript? An array in JavaScript is simply an object that has a length. A real array has also all of the array functions, but an array-like object is just an object with a length. That's the only thing that's required, which is crazy. So I'm gonna make an array-like object here that's just an inline object that has length of 5. And then I get this sweet function over here with the value in the index, and I'm gonna return the index because after this function executes, each value in the array is gonna become the index. So if I do this too, const val equals range 5, and we did it. It's crazy, it's weird. The way I would actually do this is probably just use a for loop, because this syntax and this whole thing, again, this blew my mind. I've been working in JavaScript for a very long time. It's like, why would you ever do this? Granted, it's hard to do a range function. If you look at the underscore range, I think they just use a for loop internally. It's probably faster anyway. It's probably optimized. But Array.from, it's good to know that this second parameter exists, because if you're ever doing something where you're Array.from and then you're like .map, and you weren't using this, now you know you can use this function, and you're going to end up with one less set of iterations over the thing. So if you're micro optimizing, it's better to put the map logic here instead. That makes sense. So what else can we use this on? We got the map, we got sets, we got string. One thing they don't mention here is document, so is DOM elements. So if I say I want to select all the divs on the page, document query selector all divs, and I get this, you're going to notice that this is already defined, because I already did that. Hey, there we go. You'll notice that divs.mapReduce filter doesn't have any of those. So what we want to do is divs array equals Array.from, our favorite function. And so this is useful because now we have map, filter, reduce, and all those things on our list of DOM elements. So that's Array.from. Hope you found that interesting, and I'll see you guys next time.